Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo and Dee Woodson. We are awaiting Michael Bullock. He's probably running a little late, probably getting his connection going. So we're gonna jump right on in, and then when Bullock shows up, then we'll just add on to what he needs to talk about. So not the best show, to say the very least, but it was newsworthy. So that's why we're going to be doing the show here tonight. A lot of things have broken down, some that has to pertain to Fastlane, the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, but we also did get a major announcement regarding WrestleMania. We'll get into that tonight. So again, like we said, very newsworthy more than anything else. So we started it off with the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, interrupted by Daniel Bryan, and basically, Daniel was trying to goat Roman into getting a title match for Fastlane for the WWE title, for the Universal title, I should say. And Roman, systematic heel, like, you know what? I beat you down once. I can do it again. Yeah, but here's the thing, Roman. Yes, you beat him down. But the thing was, Daniel Bryan was in no condition to fight you in the first time because he had to endure the Elimination Chamber. The Chamber literally took everything out of Daniel, and you picked the bones on him. So even Daniel brought it up, roasted Roman pretty hardcore, and we got a good little chuckle inside the Thunderdome tonight on that front. And, you know, it was true. So it looked like Roman was going to say something, but before he could get in, J Uso comes out, and they get into a little bit of a barking match. Jay jumps him, throws him out of the ring, throws him right over the wall, right in front of the Thunderdome fans. But it was later announced that Jey Uso will fight Daniel Bryan, and if Daniel Bryan wins, then Daniel Bryan will receive a Universal title shot at Fastlane, and this also drew the ire of the Rated R superstar Edge. Edge seemed a little annoyed about that announcement, and I don't know why Edge is getting a little perplexed. I mean, look, you know the road to WrestleMania always has a lot of twists and turns, and I don't know why you got a little pissy about that, bro, but you got to understand, you're guaranteed a shot at the Universal title, whomever be at WrestleMania. So slow your roll and fall in line. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yes, I got to be honest here. I know for me, this was the fight. This to me was the segment of the night right here. Roman Reigns is so great right now, and Daniel Bryan was at his antagonistic best too. Reigns as the egotistical champion, propping himself up despite the circumstances under which he retained his Universal Championship, was simply fantastic. Subtly threatening Edge by reminding him of his family was equally excellent. It was Bryan seemingly manipulating Reigns by playing to his desire to be recognized as the main event that made this even better. The leader of the Yes Movement has a history of poking and prodding to get his rivals to react the way he wants them to. Remember the Authority? 2014, Occupy Raw. I think we all remember that. Edge entering the office and taking exception to Bryan potentially getting a shot before him makes sense and is something we don't see explored nearly enough in WWE. It exposes a logic gap after many years of fans wondering what the point of the Royal Rumble is when the title is defended before WrestleMania anyway. A great start to the show that sets up a blockbuster match between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso in the main event, teases a pay-per-view main event, and most interestingly hints at hostility between Bryan and Edge that can be built upon in the weeks and months to come. So, segment of the night, hands down. And this alone was better than anything we got on that garbage show we had a week ago. So, not much more to say on this. Michael Bullock, Phenom, this was a hell of a way to start the show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a great way to start it off. Of course, like you said, Reigns was being that typical heel guy that he has been, and yeah, I mean, and in that promo, guys, I mean, Edge. Let's just say he went there when he warned Edge about that he should back out of it because you have a family, and so yeah, I think that could be one of the reasons why Edge confronted Daniel Bryan, because he really wants to face Roman Reigns. So I can understand why he was upset, but it is what it is. So yeah, Daniel Bryan, like you said, I mean, he was like, look, you did beat me, but the thing was, I was not 100% after that Elimination Chamber. So how about you fight me when I'm 100%? So yeah, and then Roman Reigns threw a line, like you said, with, all right, all you got to do is beat J Uso, and you got yourself a title match at Fastlane. What is the end result? Well, we'll find out later in the night. So, D.D. Woodson, it is yours.
Madam Speaker, is the member. Yeah, Daniel didn't want the prerequisite match, and that's basically what we got. But yeah, this definitely was a segment of the night that was definitely a great way to start off the show, and very newsworthy to say the least. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
And then we had our first match of the night. We're probably not going to get into it because it was pretty short. Chad Gable and Otis versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Chad Gable and Otis wins the match in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. After that, then we had Apollo Crews coming out, talking about that he's Nigerian royalty, and I guess he's got a new gimmick, new attitude, new everything. Ran up against Shinsuke Nakamura, and Apollo Crews wins the match in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Anthony Florio, whoa! So, new character, new gimmick, goes up against Nakamura, who has recently had a pretty nice little push lately and just took down the King of Strong Style tonight. Kind of an impressive win.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, you're absolutely right. I mean, we learned more about Apollo Crews and his background in one promo than WWE has given us in his 4 years on the main roster. He was great here, in a big moment for himself and his character, really hammering home his new persona. The match was a competitive one against a world-renowned legend in Nakamura, and Crews' victory signifies a renewed push for the former United States heavyweight champion. He is back. He is arguably better than ever, and the new character opens doors for him to achieve the sort of success he has not been afforded on the main roster to this point. The upcoming Intercontinental feud with Big E should be fantastic and produce potentially defining matches for both men. So, second best segment of the night. As far as the match is concerned, good little sprint. I would probably give it about 2 to 2.5 for the effort. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I think this heel turn is going to do some wonders for Apollo Crews here.
Yeah, I think this heel turn and this new character and persona that Apollo Crews has, I think this could do him wonders. And yeah, we certainly learned a lot more about Apollo Crews' background in this promo, and then Yeah, I mean, a nice win for him over Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, like you said, he's been on a roll lately, and Apollo Crews was basically saying, no, 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 Shinsuke, you say you're on a roll? Nah, it's time for me to get on a roll, especially now with this feud with him and Big E. So yeah, so we'll wait and see how this goes beyond. Maybe we see him and Big E for the Intercontinental Championship at Fastlane. So we'll wait and see. So as far as the match goes, I'll give it 2 stars for the effort. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, the match I'll give about 2.5 stars. It was fairly good. Apollo Crews doing the promo at the beginning, that was very well done. But of course, it has shades of other wrestlers who's done this similar thing in the past. So yeah, it was still very well done. I like the fact that we are now getting a little bit of history on Cruz. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this is about a two-star match. I thought it was solid for what it was worth. But Apollo getting a big win, I think that's the biggest story of them all, is that, and to take down a guy like Nakamura, man, that was pretty impressive to say the very least. So then we had another match. We probably won't go into this one either. It was Liv Morgan versus Tamina. Tamina wins the match in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. But that does lead to the second big moment of the night here, which was Bianca Belair. She made her decision, guys. She has chosen Sasha Banks. It is gonna happen. Banks versus Belair at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. For the first time ever, SmackDown will have both main event matches at WrestleMania. The SmackDown Women's title will be on the line. Belair versus Banks, and Edge will fight whoever is the Universal Champion in the main event of WrestleMania this year. Michael Bullock, it is yours. The decision was made. It's official. The EST of WWE has called out the boss, Sasha Banks. The SmackDown Women's title will now be on the line at WrestleMania.
I think this definitely comes as no surprise here. I mean, I think we all knew that she was going to choose Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. So yeah, I guess we could say on your side, Fletch, we're pretty much all set when it comes to the big matches. I mean, you got Edge against, as of right now, Roman Reigns for the Universal title. And now, of course, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title. So this has got a chance to be something really good here. And you know what? I'm actually going to go out on a limb, guys, and I'm going to say it. I think Bianca is going to do it. I think she's going to win the belt. With the way they've been making her since she came to SmackDown, and of course winning the Women's Royal Rumble, I think she's going to do it. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, I guess we could say this definitely comes as no surprise. We knew this was going to go down.
Yeah, it was definitely no surprise. It had been leading up for a while. It's just really bizarre that they had these guys tagged together and then do all this. But I'm still kind of wondering where Reginald fits in all this. Why is he all of a sudden backing Banks? Because she doesn't want him there. You can clearly see that she does not want him there, because I think a lot of it is because of the fact that he is tied to Carmella. But this was definitely a very good segment. SmackDown's got all their little ducks in a row already for WrestleMania, where Raw is still total chaos with whatever they're going to be doing. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
It was not a big surprise that Bianca chose Sasha. I think the one variable that we're going to have to keep an eye on is, like you said, what is Reginald's role here? It's pretty obvious he's smitten with the boss, Sasha Banks. He's already made it very known that he is smitten with her, trying to give her some lavish wine and everything else. But, of course, Sasha's being very cautious because of the fact that, yes, Reginald is kind of the, I don't know if you want to call him a bodyguard or just a liaison to Carmella. So, obviously, you got to think in this situation that Mella is keeping a very watchful eye as well. Maybe Mella might try to sneak her way in after the smoke clears and the dust settles between Sasha and Bianca at WrestleMania, where she might try to position herself to maybe be the first challenger to whomever the champion may be after Mania. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But if you notice, there was that the boss was saying, look, you're good. You're even really good. You're great. But you're only second best to me. Whoa. That was the moment where Bianca's like, oh, yeah? Okay. That sign over there that says WrestleMania says I can beat you. And I can prove that I'm the best. So, yeah. The minute Bianca heard that was it. You already knew it was a wrap. It was like you basically threw the gasoline on the fire. The minute I heard that, I was like, ooh, okay, that's it. That if you needed the buttons to be pushed, Sasha pushed the right buttons to tick off Bianca, and that was it. Next thing you know, look at the sign. There goes the pyro. It's on WrestleMania. Look out, Tampa. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, we got our match, but there's a lot of variables heading into WrestleMania that we still need to try to decipher, to say the very least.
Well, we have one major obstacle, MF. His name is Reginald.
Yeah.
He is an obstacle. And what I would give to see somebody, in the immortal words of MF and Triple H, run him down. So, MF, you know that promo better than anybody, so I'll just leave it there. But anyways, this should have been better than it was. I mean, it was great. It was another fine segment. It came out great, but it was hampered by the continued nonsense surrounding Reginald. And I told Bullock this when we had one of our recent chats. I think it was a Raw chat. We got into a little Smackdown, and Bullock, you remember, I've gone on the record, and MF and Didi, I know you're going to agree with me on this because Bullock damn sure did. He's James Ellsworth 2.0. It's as simple as that. I mean,
that's what I say too.
And I'm sure MF and Didi will concur on that.
But, and I just want to add one more thing that I think could factor into this whole thing.
Reginald.
Well, not just Reginald, but why do I got this feeling that Carmella is going to try to find a way to interject herself into this? I mean, I hope it doesn't, but I'm just getting this feeling. I mean, especially with Reginald being involved.
And Fastlane coming up.
I honestly don't think Carmella should be involved. I'm sorry.
Well, I hope not. I hope not, Fletch. I just got this feeling.
You don't need to go down that route. You don't need to. I mean, let it be a true one-on-one. Let these two girls battle it out for the title. I say, Carmella, wait. You could get the first opponent after WrestleMania.
I agree with that.
Wait to see how the smoke clears and the dust settle, and then go after the title. If you interject yourself right here, right now, at WrestleMania, that is going to be a total injustice, and I think a lot of people will definitely poo-poo over that.
And cry foul.
Put Carmella in that WrestleMania Women Battle Royal. That's what I think. But
well, she has won. I believe she has won a women's battle royale. Yeah, she won it a couple of years ago. 2 years ago in New York, she won it.
Yeah, MetLife. Yes, but getting back to my thought here, as far as Reginald is concerned, like James Ellsworth before him, he's not in danger. He's already becoming overexposed, and he's overshadowing the performers around him. He's got that, what I like to call wrestling forum heat, or I should say that Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, that ridiculously over phenom heat, which is the same as the X-Pac heat. Go away. We don't want to hear from you. So that's it. That's it for that. Banks versus Belair is a match that sells itself without the added distraction of Vince McMahon's favorite new character. And yes, I'm going there. Reginald's involvement threatens what can be an historic show-stealing bout in its own right, not to mention the build to said contest. The good news is the match still feels like a big deal and can very easily sustain that hype and excitement with continued excellence from the champion and her new challenger. So, segment was fine, but I know I speak on behalf of all of us. We can sure as hell do without Reginald. Please don't let him ruin this. Please. So that's my only nitpick. But other than that, MF, I mean, you want to talk about great women's matches in the history of WrestleMania. You talk about the very first with Wendy Richter and Leilani Kai. That was a solid match. And then we didn't get a great match up until you know, our favorite match, Trish Stratus and Mickie James at 22, and the fun we had with that one. And then we don't see a great match again until we get to the Sasha, Becky, Charlotte triple threat at 32. That was the greatest. And then the main event of 35 with Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. Could have been better, but it was still good. To me right now, the best WrestleMania women's match that I've seen, and I know MF and I still to this day disagree about it, but, you know, it is our opinion, and that is what it is. I still feel Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. They damn near tore the house down. Yes, there was the Performance Center, and yes, there was no one there, but so what? That was a 4.5-star bout, in my honest opinion. So, but this match right here, MF, if all goes well and we keep the Hammernager away, you got Charlotte Rhea potential. And this time with fans, and they're aiming, they're trying for at least 30K. They want 30,000. That's their target number. You get 30,000 at Raymond James Stadium, and those two dames tear it down, and you keep Mr. Reginald away. MF, you've got greatest women's match in WrestleMania history potential. Nothing more to say. Move on.
All right. With that said, we do indeed move on. Next up that we had on our fight card here, I believe this was let's see, hold on one second. I'm looking through my notes right now. All right. So we was the Street Profits. They went up against King Corbin and Sami Zayn. It was the Street Profits winning the match in 8 minutes and 5 seconds. And Dee Woodson, I believe that it goes to you. And there was a very interesting moment that happened inside the Thunderdome that I don't think neither one of us could even believe we were hearing in our headsets.
No, I had to ask Fletch if he heard the producer when they introduced Sami Zayn, because he called Sami Zayn a duck. Well, who on the panel calls Sami Zayn lame duck boy? Michael Bullock. So naturally, that's the first thing that popped in
Me
my
and
head.
Florio.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my head though was Bullock, because I've heard him say it more than I have Florio, and all of a sudden I'm hearing this producer's calling him a duck. I'm like, oh my goodness, is am I hearing this? Is this really true?
You must have
Yeah.
listened to me.
So this producer, he he has a tendency through the show of giving you some comments to how he feels about certain people in the match, and that was one that was really surprising to me, because I have never heard him comment that on Zayn before. I mean, he's put him down a lot, but that's the first time I've heard him actually call him a duck. So yeah. As for the match, I'll give it about 2 stars. It wasn't overly spectacular, but it was good. It was for what it was worth. But I'm kind of getting tired of seeing Zayn and Corbin even as a team, and I'm kind of glad they did lose. And of course, Corbin doesn't like Zayn's camera crew, which I thought was pretty stupid to begin with. He has this documentary crew that's pretty much documenting every flub up that Zayn makes. And Callie here will agree with me on that one. So, because she sat there and watched the match. Yeah. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. Congratulations to the Street Profits, and way to go to the producer that is falling in line with us, I guess, on the name calling for some of these guys. So it's yours, Fletch.
2 stars, definitely the correct rating for the match. Yeah, wow. Again, we were floored. We were like, wait, did he just say, oh my God? But yeah, it actually did happen. There's really nothing more to add here. Yeah, we definitely were laughing pretty hard. It was a very hilarious moment, no doubt about it. And there's really nothing more to add here. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
2.5 to 3. This was a fairly formulaic tag team match that gave the Profits a big win as they continued to chase a rematch for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship, while also creating further tension between King Corbin and Sami Zayn. What WWE's ultimate goal with Corbin and Zayn is, if any, remains to be seen, but their dissension late was as big a story as the babyface victory. And that should not be much of a surprise. Long focus on singles wrestlers at the expense of the tag team division. Big question here is, Corbin was saying, "Don't film me, don't film me," and he was getting involved there. And I mean, is there a possibility that we could be on the possible verge of a possible Corbin and Zayn feud? I mean, could Corbin be on the verge? Could they be slowly teasing a possible Corbin face turn? I mean, that'd be something. So, we'll have to wait and see. So, if that happens, I mean, I'll be a little bit intrigued because MF, you've got all these obnoxious characters running around. Corbin is one of them. Of course, Sami Zayn right now probably the most obnoxious. Seth Rollins, who they had potential to do something great with him, but they screwed that up. Big shock. And then of course you got Reginald. Those are your problem children over there. But if they turn Corbin face here, well, I might be intrigued by that. I might be. We'll have to wait and see. as long as he's still not this annoying, obnoxious character like the other guys are. So that's all there is to say here. 2.5, teetering on 3 for the effort. Second best fight of the night. So Michael Bullock, trouble in paradise between Lame Duckman and the man that we affectionately like to call Constable and King Bleakface.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of trouble brewing with these two because Corbin doesn't like Sammy's camera crew lurking around and filming every time. I mean, you could even hear him say, "Don't film me, don't film me." I'm like, you really think Lame Duckman is gonna tell his guys to leave? I don't think so. And by seeing Callie right there, I'm sure Dee Dee Woodson would tell Callie to go scratch the cameraman and basically chase them off because they're kind of, I hate to say it, but being obnoxious just being there at ringside. So
I'll send all 7 of them after him.
Yeah, maybe.
7?
I like to see that happen.
We have a total of 7, so yeah, I'll send all 7 of them after him.
Oh dear Lord!
Really? Oh my gosh, 7 of them? Yikes!
4 boys, 3
anyway,
girls.
Oh wow. Anywho, 2.5 stars is my rating on the match. Yeah, nice win for the Street Profits. Yeah, could they get back into contention for the SmackDown Tag Team titles? We'll just have to wait and see. So there's really nothing more to add to it. So I'm just gonna give it to you, Fletch.
Yeah. I don't think there's really nothing more to add. I think you guys pretty much said everything that you needed to say. So then after that, yeah, we had Daniel Bryan getting talked to from Edge about the whole situation. Then we had Seth Rollins and Cesaro having a little bit of a here and there on that, which led us to the main event of the evening, which was Daniel Bryan versus J Uso. The match ends in a double countout at 12 minutes and 50 seconds. The fight gets thrown out. So unfortunately, Daniel Bryan does not get the shot at Roman Reigns, at least when it comes to tonight. Double countout, no win, automatic NA, but this was a good main event. This was a solid main event, and as a matter of fact, I actually don't mind that it ended this way. It obviously now Daniel can say whatever he wants to say, maybe get another shot next week, or they could go another route here with Roman Reigns. But I thought this was a solid fight. I actually don't have a problem with the end, with the double count out. It kind of was an unpredictable moment, because I'll bet you everybody in the room was like, oh yeah, all right, Daniel's gonna win this. This is easy. Daniel wins. We'll get Roman versus Daniel at Fastlane. No, hold the phones. That's not what we're getting. We're gonna have to stretch this out one more week, and quite frankly, I don't mind. Let's see a little more intrigue. Maybe Daniel can goat Roman next week and do this all over again. So no, this was, even though it was an NA, Anthony, I'll give you this. This was a shocker. I think none of us saw a double count out finish here. This was actually a pleasant surprise. The WWE did something that was somewhat unpredictable on us.
Well, this isn't the first time, but the big question, MF, real quick, MF, what was the time of the fall on this one?
12 minutes and 50 seconds.
12:50. All right. Yes, we do poo-poo on NA finishes. They are very much frowned upon within this establishment. But in this case, this is one of the very rare cases where we could actually say a match that had an NA rating was the fight of the night. And MF, you're exactly right. I mean, this isn't the first time this week we saw that. Let's rewind back to Monday Night on Raw. We all expected Braun Strowman to go over Bobby Lashley, and we all thought Braun Strowman was going to get added to that Miz and Lashley WWE Championship match. No. Bobby Lashley beat Braun Strowman clean. Yeah. And that's why we have the big match we have coming up Monday night on Raw. And you better believe we're going to get into that. You better believe that, regardless of whether the show sucks or not, because that's a money match right there. We could have a history-making moment if all goes well. But story for Monday. But for right now, as far as this is concerned, the road to Fastlane became murkier with the outcome to Friday's match. We all assumed, all of us and most of us assumed, what most assumed would be Bryan versus Reigns following the show-long build to it is now left in limbo, with no real indication that is what will happen. Nor is there any reason to believe Edge will team with Bryan against J Uso and Roman Reigns, given the fact that he did not come to Bryan's aid at the close of the show, despite very clearly being in attendance. That he took exception to Bryan trying to jump him in line only further serves as evidence that the Rated R superstar and Daniel Bryan are far from on the same page. Now, MF, I got a big question for you, and I'm very curious as to how you feel about this. Could all of this be heading to a possible multi-man fatal four-way match at the top of the WrestleMania card? Maybe. Edge, Bryan, and Uso all have unsettled business with Reigns. Whether WWE is willing to bring those pieces together instead of a more traditional singles bout remains to be seen. So, MF, that's something you got to think about here. I mean, I would not be surprised if this ends up being a possible four-way at Mania. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryan and Jey Uso get added to this. I wouldn't.
I can see Daniel get in there.
Yes, I can too.
Jay? Oh, you really got to make a compelling argument for me to say yes to Jey Uso though, because Uso right now, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't. If this was a few months ago, where before he joined the quote unquote bloodline, then yes, I would say Jey Uso would have had a gripe. But nowadays, I don't see it. Unless Roman uses him like as a lapdog to protect me, protect the title. You know, these are your orders. And then maybe Jay's like, you know what? No. Because, I could very well be WWE Universal Champion as well. And then we could open the door for a four-way. But right now, yeah, I could see a possible triple threat. No doubt about it. If they decide to go down that route, yes. Fatal four-way is a little bit of a reach, but a triple threat is definitely possible. Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman in the main event of WrestleMania.
Night 2, baby.
I mean, let the chips fall where they may. There's a good chance. And this is the unpredictability moment because you could have Roman walk out with the belt. Mm-hmm. You could have Edge realize his dream, coming back and winning the title.
Or we could have 30 all over. Or we could have 30 all over again.
We could have 30 all over again with Daniel Bryan walking out at Raymond James with the title. And my God, if Daniel does that. When?
I would love to see it. I really would. I mean, they would definitely be making it up to him after, they had him do the job for Kofi 2 years ago, even though he had no problem with it whatsoever.
No.
Because that's the guy he is.
Yeah. But the thing was, at the time, the momentum was right there, and it was the perfect storm for Kofi. If Kofi would have lost that match at WrestleMania.
Oh, God. There would have been a riot.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania, the rest of that night would have been, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
It would have been Royal Rumble 14 and 15 bad.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. Had that happened. But
yeah, nobody would have given a crap about the rest of that WrestleMania. They would have said,
they all would have left.
All right, we're done.
Either they all would have left or they would have started an ECW like Riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or And then people at home would probably just turn off their TVs, like, you know what, we're done with this crap for the night.
Cancel WWE Network. Cancel my subscription.
Yup, pretty much.
There would have been a lot of that.
There would have been a lot of that.
But you never know.
Take my subscription, but 4-way, like I said, 4-way is a reach.
But a triple threat.
Triple threat is more feasible. But I could see 4-way, but you really, 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 really got to make a legit reason for me to say, okay, Jay, you deserve a spot. Because right now, nope, not for me.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I was just curious. I just wanted to see what you thought, but because that's what I'm thinking. I mean, a triple threat would be friggin' awesome. I mean, and this would literally be like 30 all over again. I mean, Roman Reigns is like what Randy Orton was, face of the company, dominant champion, and has everything going for him, has all the power and all the resources and everything else to make sure he stays in power. Edge would be like the Dave Bautista, the legend, the veteran. Although in Edge's case, he's a Hall of Famer. Bautista, soon to be Hall of Famer once they get that going. Hopefully they do. And he would be like the Bautista and the Royal Rumble winner, obviously, just like he was. And then Daniel Bryan, as he did at 30, finding his way into it. And, he's got unfinished business with Roman because of that great talking smack moment when he got in Heyman's face. So, when he declared his intentions for the Rumble. So, we'll wait and see on that. But one more quick thing before I give it to Bullock here, and that is the plan is, as of now, it is Edge and Roman. And the plan is for that match to be the main event of WrestleMania. Night 2, which would make it the main event of WrestleMania. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing that the WWE Championship would headline Night 1. So that's what I've heard. So, we'll wait and see if they keep it that way. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So given all the build behind this, so we'll wait and see. So yes, it's an NA, but it is the fight of the night. Not often we say that, but the action was just too damn good. These two just have great chemistry. They work so damn well together, and some great falls and everything else. And for the second time this week, they pulled the unpredictability card on us. Michael Bullock, you and I saw during our Raw chat Monday night. We both thought Braun Strowman was going to beat Lashley, but what happened? Lashley beat him clean, and then we get this tonight. So fight of the night, even though it's an NA. So Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, even though that this is an NA, this was the fight of the night, and like you said, I actually don't mind this either. You extend this thing to another week, and who knows? Maybe this is where maybe Daniel gets his opportunity at Fastlane. So, but all those other things you guys just mentioned, it's definitely worthy of being on the table, but we'll have to wait and see. So there's really nothing more to say. Yes, it's an NA, but it is the fight of the night. So, D.D. Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, it was the fight of the night. Yes, it was an NA. You could debate all night long about how, it could go 3-way, 4-way, 2-way, whatever. We still have Fastlane to go, so we kind of have to wait and see what happens with Fastlane, if that's going to be a factor in how this match is going to end up. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and we're now going to go into the overall reviews. So, Anthony Florio, you get to lead off. Like I said, newsworthy show. Like you said, a lot better than last week, but not. Yeah.
Yeah, MF, you unfortunately couldn't be with us last week due to an illness on your end, but that it was kind of a blessing in disguise because you ended up missing out on what ended up being a horrific show. It was a hoofa show last week. Like I said, the one word that best described it was hoofa, because that's how bad it was. Bullock pulled the trigger. He gave that sucker a 0 out of 10. I was a little more generous and gave it between 1.5 to 2, but no. After that dumpster fire disaster of a show a week ago, this was a big improvement. I mean, not earth-shattering or anything. We had one great match, one good match, and one solid match. And then the segments were good. I mean, we had a couple of bad matches here and there. If I were to put a number on this, based on the body of work, I think maybe 6.5 would probably be the best number here. Maybe even 7. But let me see. This was an eventful show with plenty of development, both in terms of WrestleMania and for the coming weeks of television. While I am a little disappointed with the non-finish in the main event, I am intrigued, however, by the direction they're taking with Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. I'm excited and fully on board with the recent revitalization campaigns of Apollo Crews, of the newly heel-turned Apollo Crews and the newly babyface-turned Cesaro, and felt like both had standout nights. I mean, look what Cesaro did to Seth Rollins, for goodness sakes. We got a Cesaro swing, MF, and I know how much you love that. While I do have hesitations, well,
don't forget me. I like the Cesaro swing too.
Yep, we all do. Yes, we all do. And while we all have hesitations about Carmella and especially Reginald's continued involvement, I'm overall hopeful for the story that can be told with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Even on the undercard, a solid win for Chad Gable and Otis, despite some conflicting character developments, puts them in a solid position to become a legitimate contender in a messy tag division. Friday Night SmackDown has a lot of talent and a lot of options, and they're putting themselves in a pretty decent place as we continue to ramp up into Mania season. So, I would probably give I would probably give this between 6.5 to 7, if I'm going to be honest with you. Major improvement. MF, pat on the back here. I mean, you boys realized it. It's almost like MF probably went to him and said, that was a crap show. Probably threw in some expletives in there, knowing him. But I know MF was probably like, I can't take this BS anymore. We're supposed to really compete with Raw and NXT, and NXT whooped our ass last week. Raw was even better, and do something, please. Because if you don't, I'll do something about it. And they're like, okay, MF, we got you. They must have listened to him, because look what we got tonight. 3 solid to good matches, some good segments here and there, and storyline progression. That's been MF's. That's been the MO of Friday Night SmackDown. So or SmackDown Live or what have you. So well done, MF. That's all I can say on that. Huge improvement from last week. So that's all I can say. 6.5 to 7 from me. Michael Bullock, what a difference a week makes. Blast show a week ago. Far better show this week with some great storyline progression and some great developments heading into Fastlane and even WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, this show was definitely better than last week's crapola, as I like to call it. So, yeah, 6.5 to 7, I think, is the correct rating here. I mean, Flory, you pretty much touched on everything, so I'm just going to give it to D.D. Woodson now.
Yeah, it was a very newsworthy show. A lot of things went down. A lot of things leading to, both pay-per-views and how the storylines are going to progress through the next few weeks. Not a lot of super low points, but yeah, there was a few, but nothing super major. Everything had a relevancy to it to some point. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead, because of the fact that it was very, very, very newsworthy show and very storyline driven show. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it with the 7. So, not much more I'm going to add. So good night, guys. See you Monday.
Good night, and I'm actually gonna go with Dee 7 out of 10. Yeah, very newsworthy show. The in ring was okay, but not too great. And with that said, we are gonna do a brief little Mikey's mindset because tonight was a very big night in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was their New Beginnings USA, and yes, it was indeed headlined by Kenta versus Jon Moxley for the United States title. But before we get there, we had an 8-man tag team match as it was Brody King, ACH, the Regal Twins. They went up against Chuck Connors, the DKC, Kevin Knight, and TJ Perkins. Brody King, ACH, and the Regal Twins won the match in 8 minutes and 26 seconds. Then we had Ren Nagata versus Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson one-on-one, 7 minutes and 51 seconds. Ren Nagata wins the match. And then, guys, the big one, the moment that the whole world's been waiting for, Kenta versus Jon Moxley, the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship on the line. The winner of the bout in 14 minutes, 25 seconds, and still the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley beats Kenta. He successfully defends the title. Unbelievable. Anthony Florio, the whole world was thinking Kenta was going to win the belt. Moxley retains.
Wow, that's very surprising. Surprised it was. I was expecting this to be a lot longer of a match. What did you say that was? 14 and a half, 15 minutes?
Yeah, about 14:25 official time of the fall.
Wow, just north of 15 minutes. I would have thought they would have gotten a longer match, but I thought they would have gotten like a 30 to 40 minute match, like Japan is known for. But wow, big win for Jon Moxley, retaining the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, and yeah, I mean, I guess it's onward and upward for Moxley as he prepares for the fight of his life against Kenny Omega as part of AEW Revolution, which we will preview on this program next week. So
yes, we will.
And that's going to be something else. And if the promo that he cut on Wednesday night was any indication, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Renee Paquette, we got to factor that in. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. So, I mean, I obviously don't have a thought on the match because I didn't see it. I mean, I'm just hearing this for the first time. So, but yeah, I'm happy for my boy. I'm glad he got it done. And Kenny Omega, you're next. Simple as that. So, nothing more to say, I guess.
Yeah, and we're going to close the show with that. So so next week is another great edition of, we got all of the shows that we got to do. So Ridiculously Raw will be Anthony Florio. He'll start us off. As always, we will go through Monday Night Raw as usual, the usual 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. Then on Wednesday is Wednesday Night Mayhem. Right now, for strictly sports, we got a lot of news. It's more news and views items. A lot of stuff has been actually happening in not in the realm of sports, but in the realm of television. Disney and the NFL has struck a deal to keep Monday Night Football on ESPN, but on top of that, their deal is so lucrative that for the first time since Super Bowl 37, ABC will now have exclusive rights to the Super Bowl. They now get refactored in. They now jump back into that fray where they will be rotating with ABC, with CBS, Fox, and NBC to host a Super Bowl in the very near future. We got that. On top of that, there's now talk about possible rumor that DirecTV might lose the NFL Sunday ticket and that ESPN Plus might also get the NFL Sunday ticket as part of their package. I would be very excited because of that, because I'm already a subscriber to the ESPN Plus. So I'd be very excited to hear that news if that does happen.
I hope that's true too.
So we got a lot of news coming out. We also got some other news coming up the pipeline as well. Brian Snicker, the manager of the Atlanta Braves, got a contract extension. We do got some more NBA fallout. Another player has backed out. Well, has been taken out of the All-Star game. A new player has been added. We'll get into that. So we're already starting to get stories for next week's show, guys. So we got ourselves a good show lined up. And then 1 week from tonight, we do this all over again with the Cerebral Smack Talk, Smackdown Live. And like Anthony Floyo did say, we will be previewing AEW. We got a pay-per-view that's going down on that Sunday night. So we'll preview it. So nothing more to say. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, D.D. Woodson. Thank you guys, as always. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys on Monday night.
Goodbye.